Hello there, everybody, and today I'm reviewing another comic, but this time I'm reviewing a manga, that being Batman, Childs of Dreams. So I found this at the library. I honestly wasn't interested in reading it at first because it was a black and white book, and I don't know, I just prefer an all color book. But when I started flipping through the book more recently at the library, I decided to rent it. And yeah, this book is really good. It really surprised me. It still has the Batman tropes, of course, but this time it's a more different style to it. I forget who the writer is of this book, but I even read his bio. He apparently was a huge fan of the Tim Burton Batman movies in the 60s show, and he took inspiration to do this comic because of that movie, and it definitely shows. Since this book came out in about 2003, so DC was in a different state back then in 2003. This is the new Earth after Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's your little DC history lesson, but this is before Earth Prime happened in the DC universe. So this story is mainly Batman investigating a group of doppelgangers of his fellow rogues galleries. He's also being followed by a reporter from Japan who's trying to get an interview with Batman, but he refuses, of course, until he realizes something more sinister is going on. But spoilers ahead for this book, even though it's like 21 years old. But what really surprised me about this book is just how everything looked. Like, each scene of the action just looked like a giant painting of Batman. Like, each action scene just looked polished, and it just looked really fun to look at. And you could just sort throughout the whole book, and you could just look at various things, various characters, and it definitely felt like it was still part of the Batman world. Because I first thought this was an Elseworld story until I found out it is part of the New Earth. But I found out the author was limited to what he could tell for this story. I guess that makes sense, since there's not even references to Robin at all in this book, or Batgirl, or the Bat Family. There is Jim Gordon, but other than that, we don't really see too many major Batman characters. We do see his rogues gallery as Batman fights his doppelgangers of his rogues gallery. Like I said, he fights the Joker, Two-Face, Riddler. I think he fights the Penguin. But each time he fights these villains, they die. And I was thinking, no way, they're going to kill off Batman's rogues galleries in this book. But it turns out when Batman investigates a lot more of this, he finds out it's not the real them through some DNA testing, and he even visits Arkham, and of course the Joker's there just laughing at Batman per usual, and it's just interesting to see. Honestly, when I'm reading this book, I'm picturing Kevin Conroy's voice and Mark Hamill's voice when reading these pages. I think all of us, when reading a Batman book, comic book, we just picture Kevin's voice and Mark Hamill's Joker's voice. Even if it's like a younger Batman, I can picture like a Roger Craig Smith, Troy Baker. It's endless. But as Batman's starting to piece things together, the one thing I do like about this book is the love interest of this book. Her name is Yen, I think her name is. That's straight out of Japan. She is a good reporter. She gets involved in the various things that go on in the crime scenes. And Jim, of course, tells her to get out of the way, but of course, of her freedom of speech, she's able to pass through and try to make a report. But once she meets Bruce, they actually have romantic intention towards each other, but they can't really recuperate on these feelings because they live in completely different continents. But the relationship is definitely cute, like I said. But the big twist of this book is the mastermind behind all this cloning of his Batman's rogues is revealed to be Yen's uncle, who is crazy. He apparently is the producer of the news broadcast of Yen's news station. But it turns out he has an obsession with Batman. It's not like with the Riddler where he is obsessed with defeating Batman, but it just never works out. This time, this man is obsessed with everything Batman. He has like a whole collection full of replicas of Batman's vehicles, gadgets, and Batman's costumes. And he's actually able to, spoilers, he's able to figure out Batman's identity just by hiding a camera in Yin after a little battle that went down. But he's able to figure out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and his whole goal is to become the new Batman. He puts on a costume. He just looks like a Batman on drugs, honestly. And he even wears like a samurai looking outfit. I don't know if that took inspiration years later. I don't know if the Batman Ninja movie, which is also a Batman anime, I don't know if you checked that movie out. They also had a sequel recently, but they used, I'm sure they took inspiration from this book when making that movie, honestly. But Batman is able to fight his doppelganger, his copycat, and the man actually dies from a drug overdose because it's revealed that he used drugs. He even used it on Yen when kidnapping her, causing her to think she's Catwoman. But of course, Batman's able to save her. But he actually tries to kill Bruce with the needle he has, but of course it doesn't work. And he accidentally, during the battle, gets injected himself, and he's actually in pain until he decides to commit suicide and blow up all his memorabilia of Batman. But Batman couldn't save him in time, and he basically dies. I was wondering if Batman was going to accidentally kill him, but no, the man actually kills himself. But of course, the day is saved, and Batman is able to reunite with Yen, and they end off with a kiss, which was nice. But the book ends with Batman remaining in Gotham, of course, and Yen making a news report. So, yeah, I think I've gone over everything that happens in this book. So, like I said, the art's really beautiful. Definitely check out this book. It's definitely the underrated Batman books out there. There's, so many designs of Batman in the art gallery, too. They even did, a design for what Harley Quinn was going to look like, even though she's not in this book. But overall, I give this book definitely a 10 out of 10. It was definitely a big surprise for me. So, I don't know what the next comic review I'm going to do. I'll just have to look and see what I can find. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.